Welcome back to Airecon 2024. I'm here with Mark from Radical 8 Games. Obviously, you may remember him from the channel where we've covered the Mask, we've looked at the Die of the Dead expansion, but now we're here with Spokes.
With Spokes, yeah. Thank you. This is a fantastic game designed by Bert Hardman, which is just a really elegant game about velodrome cycling. Okay, brilliantly colourful, really beautiful artwork by Norma, our normal artist. Really proud to demo it here at Airecon for the first time.
Yeah, it was really good to see you on the exhibitors list, well, demoing list.
Yep.
And obviously, I've seen some of the bright colours. You get the poster in the background. Look at that. It's a bit fantastic, sort of 80s neon type thing, which is really good.
Absolutely beautiful. I said to Isabel, I said, it's a game about bikes. Really colourful. What can you do? He said, what about this? I said, perfect. Yeah, brilliant.
No,
brilliant, beautiful.
Love it. So tell us how we're playing.
Excellent. So in Spokes, it's a very simple game. There are really just a handful of rules. So on your turn, you do two things. Actually, start with the goal. So the idea is velodrome racing. It's the first to complete 3 laps of the velodrome. And that's it. It's a race game. First person over the finishing line, they're the winner. And the game ends. On your turn, you do two things. First thing you do is you move around the wheel up to 3 spaces. So 1, 2, for example. And then you take the spoke that you went over, swap it for any spoke on the board. So for example, purple for this red here. And then you move over a route that has to be the same color, but you have to go over the spoke you just placed. So with this one, I could move all the way over there, and then that's it. It's the next player's turn. So really simple, really straightforward. However, as I'm sure you've noticed already, when you place the color, you no longer have it. And so you're kind of managing your stamina. What colors have you got going on? Are you taking too many of a color? The more on the board, the less on your bike, but other players might have them. And so it really does recreate that feeling of other players, like there's one person in the lead, everyone's following them, and then you can also slipstream a player, which just means if you would land on them, you go backwards, and then you get, on a future turn, an adrenaline burst. So on a future turn, you could just jump just one spoke, that's not the color you're playing, but it's offered just enough to pip them and take the lead. And so there's that kind of people following each other, almost peloton style, with one person just overtaken, everyone moving behind them, then just overtaken again, but just really recreates that whole cycling feeling, cycling theme, but just with an absolute burst of color, really simplistic rules like that I have just described the entire game to you now.
Yep.
And there we are, and it's fantastic. And there's a few other things that we are adding. So one thing we want to do is a team mode, where with these are double-sided, so you can be on the same team as an opposite player, so you can kind of build routes together, slipstream each other as you go around. But again, it's still the same rules, so that same real elegant gameplay, just swap a spoke out, move along a route, and everything that builds from that is just a fantastic, really simple to learn, but deep game that's just beautiful to play.
Okay, so we've got a lot of colours going on. We've got a lot of colours on the board.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about the setup. So when we set up, we've got one of each colour, I'm assuming? On
one of each colour on your bike.
Yep.
With this, so each of these are recessed.
Yep.
All we do is we've got a little fabric bag. You just fill it full of the spokes, give it a shake, and then you just whiz it around the board, and then you just push them into place.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter, you could start with a route that's like, actually, hold on, there's this like purple route that's going all the way around the board. But that doesn't actually matter, because what will happen is players will initially go along that route, but they'll all have played their purple spoke. Then later on, they'll realize that they'll need to get the purple spokes back. So they harvest from that route. So as you play, like the routes will change, develop, and things will change. And it's just, like I say, it's kind of self-balancing. The random setup works, even completely random. Even if you end up with these big routes, it still works.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Obviously, that randomisation at the beginning just gives the replayability, and I think, look, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The heat is obviously the racing game of the moment, isn't it?
Yes.
So this is, with heat, you've got a finite deck. You're only dealing with what you do. This one, you've got that randomness. You've got a little bit of element of strategizing that's going to be different in every game.
And it's not card-based. It plays very much different to heat. I think some people compare it to Flamme Rouge, but even there, it's that whole deck building element here is changed with this kind of, we're building the stamina system on the bikes, and the routes that you're building. Like the whole idea, it's velodrome themed because there's that whole idea of you doing the same thing, and it wouldn't work if it was one straight lap, one straight thing. It has to be, okay, I've built a route there. How am I going to use that in my next turn round? And how are other people going to use it? And you always got that in your mind. And it's also, I was playing it earlier where one person, they thought they were at the back. Because everyone else had like built this route, they're able to come into it and still join up. So it really is self-balancing. There's never anybody who's completely out, someone who's definitely going to win. It works completely.
They just tag on what everybody else has done and just plan that out a little bit better.
And so all the other games tend to be card-based. Like they're all card-based races where you play the card, and this is very different to that. It's not card-based. This is really just to indicate whether or not you have slipstreams or not. Yeah. And it could be done with a little token. So it is a very different feel, I think, to those games.
Very much. And I think that's refreshing. I think that's you've got that little bit spin of, okay, right, yeah, you are racing. Yep. You have resources that you're using to race, but you've got to manage that in a very different way.
Yes.
To get that.
It's not spending them, it's swapping them out. And you're often thinking, where do I want to end up? What have I got coming up next? It's only the next 3 that you swap out. So you're looking, right, my next turn, I'm going to need to do red, brown, or green. Where do I want to end up? But I'm also thinking, what am I going to swap out? I don't want to end up with a board that's just 3 whites, because that really hampers some of your later turns. So you're thinking there, or if you're playing with people who don't think, it's just, no, I'm just going far. And that's it. And you just see what happens. And it's, like I say, it's about a 30-minute game. And so there's that time there to have a lot of fun and just go around, whiz around. Don't matter if you lose, don't matter if you win. That's it.
So player count, we've got 6 laid out here.
6 players, 2 to 6. With 2 and 3 players, there is a mode where you could have 2 bikes each. So again, you can just do 1 bike each. It still works absolutely fine. But 2 bikes each, so you've still got a lot of bikes jostling for positions. But also you're building your own routes. Like you say, right, I'm going to do this to build this route, slipstream myself. And again, just get an idea of team cycling in there.
Brilliant. Crowdfunding again?
Crowdfunding, either the end of this year, start of next year. We just need to really just finalise the artwork and then start the big marketing push. So it depends upon when the artwork's done, really, and we'll see when that is. But hopefully towards the end of this year.
Brilliant. So thank you for that again.
No,
obviously, we'll pop down the links to all the websites put down below. Keep an eye out for that campaign coming towards the end of the year. Obviously, we'll have a conversation when that comes around, and we'll be letting people know about that as well. So thanks again, Mark.
That's brilliant. No,
take care.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you.